Hello, NextGen Nation. Welcome to your first breakout session, Resume Bootcamp. I'm Lauren Walker, and I'm a senior staff writer here at GovLoop. Thank you all so much for being here with us today. Maybe you chose this session because you're looking for a new role, or you want to clinch that promotion, or maybe you just want to be ready for whatever opportunity may cross your path. It's never a bad time to refresh your resume. Today, you'll learn how to tailor resumes for government roles at any level and get practical tips for navigating hiring systems. But first, we have a few reminders before we get started. We've got some additional resources for you that you can find in the Resources tab. There's an icon at the bottom of your screen, and be sure to check those out. If you want to use closed captioning, look for the Show Captions icon also at the bottom of your screen. We hope you don't have any technical difficulties, but if you do, don't despair. You can use the Q&A tab, again, at the bottom of your screen, to send us a message, and my colleague Caitlin will get your questions sorted out. You can also tap that same Q&A icon to ask our expert questions, and you don't have to save them for the end. Just drop them in whenever. The questions you put in that Q&A, only the hosts and the speaker can see. But there's also an open chat available if you want to share your thoughts and questions with the other folks attending the session. Those conversations with your peers in the chat really add to everyone's experience, so don't be shy. Let us know what you're thinking. If you miss anything, don't worry. Tomorrow, we'll email you a link to the entire event. That will come directly to your inbox, and you can review a recording of this section as well as recordings of any sessions you might have missed. Also, we are giving out 1 CPE credit for your participation in today's session. To get that credit, you need to do 3 things. 1, you need to stay and participate for the whole session. 2, you have to take all the polls. And 3, you have to fill out the post-event evaluation to obtain your credit. The polls will appear on your screen as a pop-up. Select your response and click Submit to record your answer. You can find the CPE evaluation in that resource module, again, at the bottom of your screen, or at the Resource Center in the main environment. All CPEs will be emailed directly to you once we confirm that you've met all the requirements. Okay, with all that out of the way, it's time to introduce you to our expert in all things resume, Kathryn Troutman. She's president and founder of Resume Place LLC. Welcome, Kathryn. I give you the floor.
Hi, good morning. Hi, everyone. I'm Kathryn Troutman, president of the Resume Place, and that is me right there. I'm very glad to be here. I'm sorry about the video. I teach a lot of webinars, and this is the very first time this ever happened. So I'm sorry about that. So my class today is about how to write a resume, and in particular, how to write a 2-page federal resume. Because as you know, that's the brand new format that has just been created for everybody. So here we're going to go with our PowerPoints, and I'm going to take you through some ideas to help you improve your ability to get best qualified and to get referred for the position. And that's the goal here for the class. And so I'm going to go ahead and begin. You can, next slide, please. So this is the book that the curriculum is based on, the Federal Resume Guidebook. I updated the book in a great big hurry when the memo came out that all of a sudden the resumes have to be 2 pages. And now all the samples in the book, 16 of them, are 2 pages. And I know that it's challenging to do 2 pages, but that's the rule now. So next slide. So there's the back cover. This book is built on some strategies. Part 1 is 6 strategies for writing the 2-page resume, and I'm going to use some of those today in the PowerPoint as we begin. So next slide. So writing your 2-page skills-based federal resume, and we say skills-based because that's the language that they use in the memo, that the resume has to be skills-based. I guess that means keywords, but anyway, we always write resumes that are skills-based and accomplishment-based. So that's what we're going to do first. So next slide. So nowadays, the resume for government is 2 pages, unless you're a nurse at the VA. I just found out that nurses don't have to do 2 pages. I don't know why. Skills-based means it has to match the keywords because they are going to be using more searchable systems for the first round of cut. So make sure your resume matches. Has to have the keywords and it has to have accomplishments in it. That right there is the problem that I see most frequently, besides getting it down to 2 pages, is that if I look at a resume and I'm coaching someone, I see their current job block. They've been in the job 5 years, 6 years. I read all the sentences and none of them are about duties. They're all about responsibility. None of them are about accomplishments. They're just duties, things you do every day. So I want you to get over that with this class that I'm teaching. Next slide.
Wait just a second. Shouldn't we do the first poll?
Oh, okay. Let's do the first poll, everyone. I do see it here.
Okay.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
So we'll give you about a minute to answer. This is one of the polls you need for the CPE. So the questions are, how many pages is your current federal resume? And the choices are 2 pages, 3 to 4 pages, or 5 or more pages.
I have been seeing that a lot of people do have the 2 page resume now because they have to with their applications. But what we'll do in this class, though, is teach you how to improve your 2 page resume. So don't worry, even if you have a 2 pager, stay in the class. It's only an hour. I'm going to teach you a few things that are important. So
Okay, about 83% of you have answered. If anybody else wants to answer, get your answer in and we'll talk to the results. Okay, I'm gonna end the poll.
okay. So the two page rule has been out there for almost a year now. May 28 is coming right up. So a lot of you have turned to 2 pages because it's time. And so next slide. So we're going to look at a couple of samples here from that are in the book. I wanted to put them up on the screen. And the first one is for Jenny, and the second one is for Milton. So we'll start with Milton here. And can you close the poll so I can see the slide? There it is. I got it. So the job that Milton is going for is a FEMA position, supervisory emergency management. And you can see my prompt there, my AI prompt to get the keywords. I said, I'm a job seeker. Please review, analyze the announcement, and give me 8 core capabilities for my resume. Okay, next slide. So the keywords are here. This resume needs to have these words, almost all of them in there. And I did that AI, got those keywords in probably 4 minutes. No, 2 minutes. It's really fast. So that resume has to have the word crisis response, policy, supervision, oversight, COOP, disaster assistance. So these words are the words that are needed for this job. And the resume needs to have them. So next slide. Now, this is a sample of the previous format, the 5 pager, which was really beautiful. We had nice big paragraphs and 5 pages of words, which are now gone. So next slide. I just want to show you the before. Okay, now here's the new one. This is a 2 page resume. I put at the very top, he has a hiring authority, Schedule A. Then we have his summary, and I highlighted the keywords: strategic advisor, crisis response, resilient, flexible. The summary is optional, but it's kind of nice to pull together who you are and where you're trying to go. Then I put his technical skills next because his technical skills, he's private industry, he's Geico, but he's been doing FEMA emergency response, for his job. So I put that next. Then I put certifications next, which are really relevant for the Geico, for the FEMA job. And then everybody, look at this. Look at the bottom of the page. It says key accomplishments, doesn't it? It does not say duties. So I wanted his accomplishments to hit page 1, not page 2, because I want page 1 to be very solid. And so I put his Hurricane Irma story on page 1 and a couple others. And then the next page, go ahead, slide. Now I have his duties: team leadership, where we have supervision, operational oversight, and then mobilization, flood insurance. I could have highlighted some more words, But that's page 2 of the resume. So the big thing about this resume, and when you get out of this class or later on today, take a look at page 1 of your resume and see what's on page 1. If education is required, you need to have education on page 1, not page 2. If certain certifications are required, they need to be on page 1. The summary you can have or you can skip it. You don't have to have it. If you need that room for more content, take it out. It's not required. Okay, next slide. We have 2 samples to show you here. This one is Jenny, and she's applying for a GS11 housing and Naples. And again, there's my prompt. Please give me 6 core capabilities. And the next slide. The keywords are here. Housing inspection, housing laws, housing operations, resident. I recommend that you use AI for your keywords. It is fabulous. I just started using AI for keywords only 8 months ago. I've been doing them out of my head forever, but this is so beautiful. So anyway, the word housing. Okay, next slide. And you have to do that keyword thing for every single job you apply to. And it doesn't take long. Copy and paste the duties out, specialized experience, KSAs, put it into AI, give it a prompt, boom, you've got your words. All right, this screen right here is the 5-page version, which is now gone. Next page. All right, here we go. This is the 2-pager. I put her EO 13473 at the top. If you have a hiring authority, it goes at the top of the resume. Type it in there so that the HR people, when they're doing their searches, can see the hiring authority on the resume, because they may not go to the documents and look around for your documents. The HR recruiters who are using the ATS system want to see it right here. So, all right, I did do a summary because I wanted to. And then I did specialized skills because they're very housing oriented, because she's been in housing. Look, 2015 to present, she's been a GS9. All right, then we have housing program management and operations, quality assurance. And then I put an accomplishment on page 1. I try really hard. That's another thing you can look at when you go get out of this class, is take a look at your 2-page resume, find the accomplishments and highlight them in yellow or red or something. I'm not kidding. Find them. They have to be there, because you may not have accomplishments. They may not stand. I want you to separate them from the duties by typing the word key accomplishment. I really do want you to take up a whole line to do that, because I want the HR person, recruiter, and the manager to see that accomplishment. If that accomplishment bullet was blended into the duties, they might not see it. So it has to be featured. Okay, next slide. So now duties continue, personnel administration. Then I put an accomplishment right there where she created 2 critical positions. Then marketing and communications, and she updated the housing Facebook page. Then I put her training and a few of her recognitions at the bottom of page 2. So that's your 2-page resume there. The type font that I like is 11-point type, but you might have to use 10-point to get the content in there. So 10-point is okay, but everybody, you have to read the instructions. The announcements many times will tell you what type font they want, size, and margins. They might say you must have 1-inch margins, or they say no less than 0.5. Whatever they say, make sure you do it. Because if they say nothing smaller than 10, you better not do 9, because you're done. You're out. If it says nothing below 11, don't do 10, or they won't even read it. So just follow those directions. Okay, next slide.
It's time for our next poll. So
Okay.
I'm going to put that up. And again, we will give you about a minute to answer. This question goes, what is the hardest part about writing the new format 2-page federal resume? The answers are matching the resume to the target job announcement with the right keywords, adding accomplishments from my most recent 2 positions, or cutting the content down to 2 pages and keeping it complete. And we've got about a half a minute to go, and about 75% of you have answered, so get your answers in.
I see your problem, everybody. I do.
It's funny, when I was in college, Everybody wanted to do the widest margins possible and the biggest type. And now we're all struggling to do the narrowest margins and the smallest type.
It's very, very hard to go get those long resumes down to 2 pages. So 10 point is much easier to do it than 11, but whatever the announcement says.
Yeah, you got to do. Okay, so let's see our results.
Well, looks like a lot of you are having the challenges. Let me give you some tips right now on that 2 page editing. One thing is that you need to emphasize the last 10 years of your employment. That's what they're really going to look at is the last 10 years. So if your employment does go back 20 years, which it might, the second 10 years has to be really short, like 3 lines, 5 lines each. That's how you do it. So the current job is like 1/3 of a page. Second job is quarter of a page. Third job is shorter. It has to go back shorter and shorter and shorter. The training that you had before 10 years like has to go, or keep the most important ones 10 years. You don't have to stop your resume at 10 years. I don't want you to stop your resume at 10 years. If you've got 20 years experience, go ahead and keep the 20 years, but put the emphasis on the last 10 years and keep the next 10 years short. That's how you do it. All right, back to the slides. Well, I think if I were to tell you, well, what's the hardest part for you? I think it's the accomplishment problem. That's what I think. But you can look at that when you go back and look at your resume, is decide that. So strategy 2 is how many hats do you wear at work? And everybody wears hats in their work. And this guy does law enforcement leadership, facility security, criminal investigations. Those are his hats that he wears in his job. These are also keywords. This is also a very clear description of what you do in your job. Okay, next slide. So here's how you use the hats. You use those words to write your resume, either in bold caps, bold upper and lower, but you need to make it clear. So if I was going to write my resume, I would want to emphasize author, publisher, curriculum designer, instructor, federal career coach. Those words that I just spoke would need to be in bold. And so in your case, if you're a supervisor, customer service, data analyst, um, policy advisor, those words need to be in bold so that the person who's reading the resume can see them quickly. So that's why this lesson is so good. How many hats do you wear at work? And you will be getting this PowerPoint so you can go back through this step by step and review it against your resume after this class or this evening or something. So that's what you do with the hats. Next slide. So you can do this on your own. You can write down how many hats you wear in your job. And then I dare you to go look at your current job block and look for those words. See where they are. And are they even in the resume? The hat lesson is just fantastic. Okay, strategy 3, keywords. Now, I already showed you some keywords with my samples. Next slide. But this is something that people don't do regularly, but they've got to do it now because of the AI searching, and government is using AI for a first cut. They're typing in anywhere from 1 to 5 words for the first round. You have to do this, and it doesn't take long to do. It's critical. It's for private sector as well as for federal. The May 29 memo said that HR talent searching will be increased. So this is what we have to do. Next slide. You can find the keywords, especially in the qualifications section, where it says that you must show that you have 1 year specialized experience and the next lower grade level. Those words have to be in there. Yes, I'm saying it's okay to use AI. I sure am. I'm just saying use it for the keywords from the announcement, from the duties section, and from the specialized experience. You put it into ChatGPT or Claude or whichever one you use and say, please give me the 10 keywords that I should add to my 2-page federal resume. 5 seconds later, it's going to give you the keywords that you need to have in your resume to match that announcement. Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's critically important, and you have to do it for every single announcement because the words are going to be different for every announcement. Next slide. So here's an example of a program analyst. It says right here, 1 year specialized experience in all those things. And it turns out identify resource requirements, financial operations, civil works budget, another budget. So if you don't have the word budget in your resume or you don't have budget background, don't apply for this job because this job is a whole lot of budget stuff and a whole lot of finance job, even though the job title is program analyst. That's why you have to really read between the lines and get those words. Otherwise, you won't get best qualified and you won't get referred. You have to have a match between this section here and your resume. Slide. So here's another example. This is Air Force person. And look what I did again. I put the achievements before the duties. I did it. Now you can, you know what? You could play around with your resume with format. You could have one version with accomplishments first, then duties, another version with duties first, then accomplishments. See which format you like the best, which one's most readable, which is most impressive, which one's going to grab that HR person and refer you to a manager. That's what a human does, you know, with government. They refer you. A person looks at that resume because you're already best qualified. So you want, the goal is to get an interview. That's what your goal is with all these applications. So here's another example of achievements at the top. And I did use some bold, upper and lower, to feature some keywords. So this first section here, achievements and impact, is a combination of keywords and accomplishments. So one of the values of this class is looking at formats and looking at your resume and comparing your resume to these formats. Next slide. There's another one, bold, upper and lower, all cap words that are keywords for the announcement. I put education certification at the end because it was not required for the job he was seeking. Next slide. Tell your accomplishment stories, strategy 4. All right, next slide. Now, I'll tell you the difference between an accomplishment and a duty. I'll tell you, duty is something you do every day. It's routine. It's on your position description, and you do all that work. Accomplishment is a problem, a new system, a new policy, a new program, something introduced, change. It's change. It's different than a duty because it's something that's challenging and unique. And federal employees have the most amazing accomplishments, and you just have to write them down. And you actually have to brag a little bit. You have to be proud of what you did. If you want to use the word I in an accomplishment, you could do that because it's something you did. So there's a big difference between those two sections of the resume. Next slide. So you don't have to do this now, but you can do this when you are working at home on this. I would love for you to write 8 to 10 words of a project or study for 3 or 4 projects or studies. Yeah, I would like that. And then look at your resume and see if they're in there. And I would bet that maybe they're not in there. So next slide. So this is my line right there. See the blue? The accomplishments add interest to your resume. They make your resume interesting. And if the resume is not interesting, then the chances of getting referred to the manager are probably not so good. Charles has a question. Latasha Carls, go ahead and speak if you like. Can you hear them talk, Lauren? Oh, no question. Okay, go ahead. All right, next slide. So here's a couple of samples of accomplishments, and I recommend that you write accomplishments in this format called the CCAR, the context, the challenge, action, and results for your accomplishments. Here's 2 examples of with a 6-month lead to meet CERT standards, managed annual scheduling of 450 plus classes, delivering programs to support military families with 100% accuracy. Very important, everybody. Add numbers to your accomplishments any single time that you can. Dollars, numbers, classes. I mean, 450 classes. What? That's like astonishing, shocking. And the next one of the Rising Six, she established the first 507th Air Refueling Wings, first junior list. She held 24 meetings with 300 people that came. That's nice. She's very good at establishing. And the second one, I use the word I. I established the 507th. I manage the annual scheduling. Your choice. If you want to use the I because you did it, you can do that in the accomplishments. You don't use I in the duties. You just use it in the accomplishments. Okay, next slide.
I'm just going to pause to do the third poll here.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. And again, you have about 1 minute to answer. The question is, how many accomplishments do you have written separate from the duties in your current resume from your current or most recent job? And the answers are none, one, two, or more than two. Okay. While we're waiting for people to answer the poll, we've got a couple of questions. Um, One of them here is, what if you had had 10 jobs and the job you're applying for is job relevant to the fourth job? How do you get that one down to 2 pages? How do you get that highlighted?
Then you put that one first. You have to take it out of chronology and you've got to put it first. Otherwise, nobody's ever going to see it. And you've got to put it first. You've got to put a header over it. So let's just pretend like here's an example of someone who sent me her resume and she had 10 years of work in healthcare clinical stuff. 10 years. And the job she's going for is contract specialist. So, healthcare, I don't care. So, I got tired of reading. I wrote back to her and I said, where's your business experience for a contract specialist? She said, oh, when I was in Hawaii, I worked for 8 years for hotels and events and I did a lot of contracts and real estate sales. Oh, really? Okay. So, first, you put your business experience in all caps at the top. Then you go ahead and put your hotel and retail experience, even though it is not today. It was 10 years ago. You put it on page one because they've got to see the business experience and negotiations and contracts and all that on page one. Then page two, you can give it a header and say clinical medicine or clinical healthcare heading. And then go ahead and put some of the clinical stuff. They're never going to read the clinical stuff because it's not relevant. That's how you do it. You have to flip it. You have to. If you have job number 4 and that's most relevant, it's probably going to be on page 2. And you probably won't get best qualified because I don't know if they're going to see it. So that's how you do it. You have to pull it out so that they'll see it. And it doesn't matter whether the dates are not exactly right. It's your 1 year specialized experience in that work.
Okay, so we have the poll results. And it looks like most of you have more than 2 accomplishments.
All right. I hope that's true. Good.
Okay.
But now what you have to do is separate the accomplishments from the duties so that a person can read it quickly. So when you find those accomplishments, pull them out of the paragraph or the bullets and put key accomplishments above it so that it's really clear that it's there. Okay, so now the next slide here talks about the CCAR format. The context is where were you? What were you doing? And I have a tool on my website for a builder called the CCAR Builder for writing your accomplishments. These CCAR accomplishments that you write are your interview stories, and then they can get shorter for the resume. So, next slide. The next part is the challenge. What was the challenge? What was the problem that you had to overcome to fix this, to change it, to implement something new? Challenges are so interesting. So, you really have to add the challenge, even if it's short. Next slide. Actions. What did you do? You can use I for the accomplishments. You have to write, how did you fix it? One, two, three. I developed a new system. I implemented, I trained people. You have to have the action. The next slide is results. What happened? Did you improve the system? Did you implement it? How long did it take you? 3 weeks. How many people did you implement? That's where the numbers go. You got to have some numbers in there. Metrics are just critical. So you can start with a C card. Next slide and then shorten it down to here's one for monk seal story from Hawaii. I like the second one here. The Hawaiian monk seal, one of the most endangered species, have been in decline since the 70s. After declining more than 50 years, he's steadily increasing recent years, a testament to the success of the transformative conservation program I led. See that word I there? You can use I in the accomplishments. And then the next one is shorter. So you can take these accomplishments and then make them shorter to CPE is the same thing as a CE, a continuing education unit. Okay, next slide. So add your core competencies and we can go through these pretty quickly. Next slide. Make sure that you add the competencies that will bring you value for this position. Next slide. So customer service, if that's important in your job, you need to say it. You need to have those words in your resume. And most federal employees do customer service, and it's a very important. Interpersonal effectiveness is also important to add. You can have a section in your resume of core competencies, or add them right into the duty section. Next slide. Here's an example for an admin person. They might have strategic planning, data, processing, training. These are hats that an admin person wears at a GS11, and they're trying to go for the management analyst position. The next one there is supply systems. They're inventory, logistics, systems, customer service. See, I'm always trying to break down a job into categories and skills so that it's easy to see what your skills are. Next slide. Here's another one. At Social Security Administration, oh yeah, customer service every single day, all day. Analytical problem solving, communication, those are really, really good competencies to emphasize. At DoD, look at those competencies. Those are real strategic thinking. Oh yeah. So competencies are important. Next slide. And here's an example of housing using the competencies, uh, process improvement, regulatory. So this is the sample from the housing sample in the beginning. Next slide. Okay, writing a work experience. There's one slide here that's really important. Go to the next one. HR reads it first. Are you eligible? Do you meet the qualifications? And then the selecting official, do you have the qualifications to get referred? Next slide. And then here's another sample of a before. This is before. Okay, next slide. All right, that's before. Next slide. I'm sorry, I can't do this myself. Now, he's a contract specialist. I mean, a supply specialist. And again, I put his accomplishments first on page 1, then responsibilities. I put the clearance at the top. Um, so this is another example of flipping it, and that's something that you could try. Again, I think you should have 2 versions, one with, like this, and then the other one. Next slide. So his other hats that he wears are customer service, then education, then certifications. This is probably 10-point type. Next slide. Edit carefully. All right, here we go. Edit. I'm going to show you some words not to use. See those words on the left there in the yellow? I would like you to not type these words in your resume. Responsible for, duties include, help with, work with. If you say that you helped somebody do something or assisted with, that means you didn't really do anything. You helped someone else. So, okay. So try not to type helped with or assisted with. Try to write the verb that you performed, such as, the top one here is currently, I am working as manager of operations. No way, you manage operations. Major duties include working with other staff. No, cooperated with staff. I have experience in planning. No, you plan and coordinate. I helped set up offices. Oh, yeah, you helped. That means you were helping somebody else, right? No, you organize new office systems. So you have to be very direct with your resume and keep it really solid. So keep that list of words, and you'll have fun finding them in your resume and take them all out. Next slide. Tenses, present tense is the current job. Now, with your current job, you might have some accomplishments that are past tense. That's okay. If they're done, then they are. So past tense is senior administrator planned and delivered, provided high-level customer service, researched and reported on. Next slide. When to use I, uh, not in front of every sentence, that's for sure. Don't use it 2 times in a row. I just recommend keeping it simple, that I really like the use of I. If you were to say, like my transition book, I wrote Transitioning Your Federal Resume to Private Industry. I wrote that book in 4 weeks to help the employees who were requested to resign. I did that. And I will always use the word I there because I did it and it was really hard. So if you did something that was important and was creative and initiative and innovative, please use the word I and take full credit for it. And then you'll talk about it in the interview as well. Next slide. So pay attention to document design and formatting. Yes. Well, you've seen a lot of samples in this PowerPoint. If you're interested in the book, I have a lot of samples in the book also that you can look at to look at the document design. Next slide. The headings are very important. Can I share the best resume format? No, I can't because there's no such thing. It depends on your background in terms of the best. So if education is required for your job, then you need to have education on page one. Certain certifications should be on page one. Maybe a short summary should be there. Then work experience, probably next. Make sure the accomplishments stand out the best. I don't have one format that is the best. In this book, there are 16 samples, and a lot of them have accomplishments on page one because they're so important for the HR people to see and to get the interview. So, there's a lot of different formats. Okay, next slide. Skills. Make sure that these words are skills. Oh, Bruce says he's using tables in the resume. Should I avoid that? You're not kidding, Bruce. Get rid of those tables. They got to go. AI can't read them. They have to leave. And oh, listen, everybody. I don't think you should use a template. I think you should use Word, keep it clean, keep the words on the screen clean so AI can really see it. Because USA Jobs, of course, is using AI, and so is everybody else in the world. And these templates with the bars and the colors and um, double column, triple column, I don't trust it for AI. AI is not going to get all those words. So, yeah, you should really take them out. So, for headings, you could use bold upper and lower. What about horizontal lines and separate sections? They're probably okay. They're probably all right. But don't type in the middle of them. Yeah, just keep it clean, right? Professional fonts, yeah, don't use a font that's too skinny. Some fonts are, I like Times and I like Arial. Those are both pretty heavy. Some of them are real thin, and if it's too thin, it may not be read. Next slide. Strategy 9, submit your resume and documents. Okay, we're almost finished with my PowerPoint, so I'll be ready for questions. Here it is, everybody. You've probably seen these. You probably have them written. These are the 4 questions. This is brand new. This was created on May 29 of 2025. These questions are in most of the announcements, and they are not job related. They are not scored, but you have to write them. And I've heard that if you don't write them, you're screened straight up. So for me, when I was trying to write them, how is my commitment to the Constitution and founding principles inspired me to apply for this job? Well, I had to look up the Constitution because I forgot what it was all about. And I also looked up the founding principles. And when I looked it up, I said, oh, okay. So I do that stuff all the time. I do have a commitment to the Constitution. So I would easily be able to give an example from my work experience on how I'm committed to the Constitution because I am, and I do it when I help people apply for federal jobs and they have, excellent experience to help the VA or SSA or any agency. The next one is how would I use my skills to improve government efficiency? Well, all of you have done improving efficiency. So you write a couple examples there. It has to be 200 words or less. And they make you swear that you did not use AI to write these. So don't do it. Write your own sentences. And also, you can't use a consultant. So I'm not writing it for you, and I'm not even going to edit it for you. You have to do it. The next one is how would you advance a president's EOs? Well, first of all, you have to find out what the EOs are. So I did. I went to whitehouse.gov and found it. And I found a couple of them having to do with veterans. And I do a lot of training for career advancement for veterans. So I wrote about that. Those are EOs that I really work for all the time. So you write them, you put them in Word, you put them on your computer, and every single job you apply to, you copy and paste the same words into those fields, and you're done. And I don't know what they're going to do with it, but it's not job related, so don't try to relate it to the job. Although the first one inspired you to pursue this role, well, you can write. You just need to show that you have a commitment to the Constitution to do this. So there you go. Let's see the next slide. There it is. It says no AI. Think about them, 200 words per questions or less, but no more than 200. And now I found out that they don't score them or anything like that. And I'm sure you've probably seen them. Yes, you can use the same answers for every single job. Just copy and paste them in there. That's all you have to do. So this is it. Your chances of getting best qualified are very good if you follow the samples in the book. Resume is 2 pages. It includes keywords, core competencies, accomplishments. It has to have the compliance information. That means month and year to month and year and hours per week. Oh, I got to tell you something really important here, everybody. You can use the builder in USA Jobs. You all know that. You can use the builder or you can upload. You could do both if you want. You could do both and have both just in case an agency asks for the builder format, which they won't because most agencies don't even like the builder format. I recommend you use upload when you apply for federal jobs. And here's why. Because the upload starts with work experience. No profile, no education, no certification, no technical skills. Boom. You have to start with your current job. It is rigid. And maybe you don't want to start with your current job. Maybe you want to have education up there. Maybe you got a brand new master's degree or a new certification you just finished. So that's the thing about the builder is it's not flexible in terms of the content, but you can do it and have it in there and you can put a lot of content in there. It's really squished up. The programmers designed it to have almost no white space. So each job is kind of crushed up against the second job and the next job and the next job. And I went in to try to add a couple white spaces for to open it up and dag on it. The programmers made the white spaces go away. So anyway, you can do both and you'll see the difference right there. So the book on the bottom was my 5 page version, and the book here cover on the top is my 2 page version. And just remember, page 1 is critical, and that information is what you want them to read most. And that's what they will read first. So page 1 is very important. So I think that's the end of the slides. Is that the end? Good luck. If you need help, you can write to me because this is what I do. I review resumes all the time and help people and tell them what's wrong with their resume and how it can be changed. But I have given you the lessons in this course right here and told you the importance of matching the keywords, adding the accomplishments. If you go to my website, which is resume-place.com, you'll see that there's a CCAR builder right there on my website on the top. It's free, no username, password. And you can write your CCAR story on that online form and then click submit, and it will come to you in your email in around 30 seconds, and you'll have your CCAR stories. So, but I would like to answer questions. If you want to ask some questions in the chat box, you can go ahead and do that, and I will answer them. And or what you could do too, if you want to talk, is you could tell me how your resume is organized. What do you have on page 1 of your resume, and how it could be restructured so that the readers can see the most important information. Oh, they can't talk. Well, you can write it in the chat box then. That'd be fine. Oh, thank you, Sarah. Oh, hi, Sarah. Look at that. See? Hi, Sarah. How you doing? You're doing good, I see. Very good. Yeah, having the resume match the announcement is critical.
Yeah, there was a question about whether you could have a standard resume for different types of job, and I don't think that works anymore.
It doesn't work at all. The answer is no. NO, NO. So if you want to go for program analyst, that's one resume. Administrative specialist, that's another resume. Data analyst, that's another resume. Or if you're a supply logistics person, one resume for supply, one resume for logistics, because the keywords are different. They're different from the announcement. If you don't match the words in the announcement, you're probably not going to get best qualified, number one, and you're not going to get referred because it doesn't match. So no, you can't have just one resume. Thank you. Look at that, Allison, the goat. I've heard that before. Thank you. That's a compliment in case you don't know.
And so really you're tailoring your resume to not just a category, but the individual announcement. It's really the best way to do that.
Exactly. It has to be to the announcement because if you were to read program analysts, 3 announcements, they're all different. They are so different. And same with logistics, they have different emphasis. And you find that very specific experience every single time in the announcement under required skills and specialized experience. It's right there. USA jobs announcements are better than private industry announcements. They really are because they have that same information in the same space in every announcement.
Standardization can be good.
It sure is good.
We have a question here about someone who is just moving their career to the USA and how they should put in their international experience.
Well, Allison, I like the 2 pages also. It is an improvement. I agree. Well, hopefully the international experience is relevant to what you want to do now that you're here in the US. I would hope. Is it relevant? If it's relevant, it goes on page 1. That's the key. Is it relevant? Are you trying to change your career? Or are you staying in the same field of work, only in the US? That's the difference. Do I have samples of 2 page resumes for someone who has multiple relevant jobs in the Yeah, the samples in the book all have multiple jobs. They have at least 2 or 3 jobs that are relevant. Yes, the samples are in the book. You probably ought to get
And
the book.
there's a link to be able to get the book in the resources tab under
Okay.
links. There's also the slides that you've seen today, if you want to model on those examples, in the resources tab under documents. And you will be getting a link to review this recorded session tomorrow morning in your email.
Okay. Also on my website that you could access besides the C-Card Builder is I have a sample federal resume up there, a 2 page federal resume of 2 of them. And I also added 2 page private industry resume for the same person. So you can see the difference between a federal 2 page and a private industry 2 page. And I also have the announcement up there with the keywords in red. So announcement, 2 page Fed res, and 2 page private industry resume for 2 cases on my website. Go look at them. They're sitting there. So I hope this will help you to take a look at your 2 page resume and make some changes to it. Add more keywords, get more serious about it, make those accomplishments, add metrics to your accomplishments. If you don't have some numbers in there, it's not going to be as impressive as it should be. And then if you can highlight the accomplishments better by saying key accomplishments, that would help too. How do I know which hiring authorities? Well, you know what your hiring authorities are. You can put a link to my website in the chat box. It's resume-place.com. Thank you, Veronica. I'm glad you like it. I know I'm sorry you couldn't see my face, but you heard my words, and I've got energy, so just go with it. That's what you can do. But I do want you to take a look at your resume when you take a breath and after these classes today and go through the PowerPoint here if you like, and more samples in the book. Looking at samples is very, very helpful to keep you on track. And I covered the most important things here in this class: the keywords, the accomplishments, reorganizing if you need to. If you want to move a previous career up to the top, you can do that. You just need to have recent and relevant on page 1.
Okay. Are there any more questions before we wrap up for today?
The book is $21.95, and it's available as an ebook or print book.
Oh, here's a question I often have with resumes because I am not young. Will a federal resume be rejected if it doesn't include the years for your degrees?
No, you don't have to put your years for degrees at all in there. It's not required. It's not required in the builder. You don't have to put the dates in, leave them out.
And also how to document multiple degrees. If you have undergraduate, graduate.
You have to write them all in there and no dates. You need them. The bachelor's, yeah, no, bachelor's, master's, PhD, all of it, but no dates. That's all.
Okay.
Inside on cover letters. I have a cover letter builder on my website also. And there are samples of cover letters in my book. And cover letters are optional. You don't have to write one, but you can. Most of the time, the announcements say cover letter is optional. And I'll just tell you one thing, don't make the cover letter long because they're not going to read it. If you want to say something important, highlight something important, say it and then stop because they're not going to read a long cover letter. It really needs to get to the point.
When I've been reading applications, people often rehash the resume in the
Yeah.
cover letter. So you would not advise that.
No, that's a big waste of time. I read a cover letter yesterday for somebody, it just went on and on. Same stuff as the resume. I'm bored out of my mind. So I edited it and I added one accomplishment into the cover letter that was interesting and kept only like 5 lines of the rest of it. And that was it. Keep it different, keep it interesting. You want to keep them reading.
Okay. This has been so helpful.
Thank you
Um,
very much. Thank you. I'm sorry about the camera, but you got the information. That's what you needed. And you got the PowerPoints. And I think I made my points about, especially accomplishments, you guys. I know you're going to study your resume after the class.
and again, if you go into the resources tab, you can see a link to the book. And if you go into documents, you can see the slides. Um, and obviously the link to the book is also on the slides. So you should be able to find them in the resources.
Thank you very much. I'm glad I was invited to teach the class. It's very, very helpful. Going from the 5 or 10 page resume to 2 pages has been very hard for people, and it can be done. And the samples will show it. And I won't be doing another update on this book for a while because I just finished this one 5 months ago. So this is it for now. Thank you, Karen. Thank you.
Okay, I think we're almost out of time. I just loved this session. It's given me a number of good ideas, and I'm not even looking for work in federal. So that was really
Well,
great. Thank you so much,
you're
Kathryn, for
you're
sharing
welcome. Thank you,
your
everybody. It was
experience.
really good and fun, and I hit my points, so I'm good.
Oh, great.
Thank you.
I need to send a special thank you to our NextGen Alliance partners, WEPA and Code for America. We couldn't have put on the summit without them. So thanks to them. But don't go yet. I have a few quick reminders before we log off for the session. Don't forget to fill out your CPE evaluation to get your credit. The evaluation form again is in our friendly resources tab and also in the resource center in the main environment. And be sure to head over to our exhibit hall between sessions to check out the amazing booths. They are filled with other kinds of information, more resources, and things to be helpful. Up next, our lunch keynotes will start at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. You can access sessions in the Sessions tab in the main environment. And that, I think, brings us to the end. We'll see you at the next session, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Lauren. Good job with coordinating all that.